Hey everybody, welcome to Push Positive Live. We are here every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Melissa Jakubovic. I'm an author, health, and life coach here at mycoachmelissa.com. And today we are talking about things that you need to give up before you can move forward. So welcome. Thanks for being here. If you are watching live, pop in the comments and type in live. And if you are watching the replay, you know the drill. Type in replay. If you have any questions throughout this broadcast, if I see them pop up, I will respond to them. Otherwise, pop them in the comments below and I come back and respond to every single one of them. So thank you guys so much for being here. The news that I have for you is that I have an awesome webinar, the 45-minute mindset breakthrough that is going on right now. You want to get yourself registered for that and check it out. It's got a lot of great information. And if you enjoy these Push Positive Lives, or maybe you've read my book, Push Positive, then you understand the importance of living this happy, positive life and seeing the world from a more positive perspective and how that really changes all aspects of your life. So you definitely want to check out the webinar at go.mycoachmelissa.com/webinar. go.mycoachmelissa.com/webinar, and I'll pop it in the comments below the video after this broadcast. All right, so because the topic is things that you need to let go or give up before we're moving on, before we're moving forward in our life, our breathing exercise today is related to letting go. So I want you to sit up nice and tall, shake everything out, get all your muscles moving, and then I want you to just roll your shoulders. Hello, if you are joining us now, welcome. We are talking about what you need to give up in order to move forward. So I want you to sit up nice and tall, lengthen your spine. You want your neck to be long, shoulders are down away from your ears. The shoulder blades are hugging each other in the back at the top of your spine. And you're sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes if you want to and breathe just naturally. Usually through your nose. Some of you may breathe naturally through your mouth, but just breathe naturally for a little bit. Let all that tension out. And I want your inhale and your exhale to have no stopping point in between. It's just a nice inhale and a nice exhale. So let's try that. Great. And now what I want you to do is we're going to remove this tension that we have. We all have tension in our life, right? If you don't have tension in your life, you are among the minority here. So tension is like filling a leaky bucket with water, expecting it to fill up to the top. So you have a big bucket with all these holes in the bottom and you're filling it and filling it and filling it. And you're like, why is it not getting up higher? Why is it not filling up? Because it's draining. It is draining all the water from the bucket. It is draining. Tension is draining in your life. So what we want to do is release that tension, however that is. Sometimes it's through your breathing. Sometimes it's through just realizing maybe someone needs to tell you something, to look at it a different way. So I definitely want you to explore all the different ways that you can relieve this tension. And sometimes it's a physical way to relieve it. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes it's mental. So you really need to see where you are on the spectrum, why you have tension, what is causing this tension, and maybe you need to relieve that tension in all of those areas. You know, maybe you need to get a massage, but maybe you also need to listen to a life coach. Maybe you need to listen to some podcasts. Maybe you need to read some self-help books, self-personal development. So there's just lots of different ways to relieve this tension. You need to get to the root cause of it. Today, we're going to do our breathing exercise. So that calming breath in and out, we're going to change the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. Now, if you get dizzy or you have some medical condition that says don't do this, then don't do this. But otherwise, this is a great way to relieve some of that tension. So what I want you to do is inhale for a count of 6 and exhale for a count of 3. So let's try that. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if that's too hard for you when you try this throughout the week, try an inhale of 4 and an exhale of 2 if 3 and 6 is too hard for you. Okay, now we're going to continue with that breath, but this time I want you to say something mentally. Now, to say something mentally means you're just thinking about it as if you were saying it, but you're not actually saying it, right? So when you inhale, I want you to think the word let. And when you exhale, I want you to exhale it out and think the word go. Let go. Okay, so let's try it again. 6 in, 3 out, let on the in and go on the out. Here we go. Inhale, think of the word let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. All right, when I do my breathing exercises with you guys here in Push Positive Live, these are just a sample of what I want you to practice throughout the week, because you could sit here for a full 5 minutes and do that, not just 1, 2, or 3 times, you know? But I don't want to stay here on the live where you guys are just watching me breathe, and I want to get to the topic for the day. But please consider doing this tension relieving exercise, this breathing exercise throughout the week, and then come back here, pop in the comments, let me know how it goes for you. How did it make you feel? Did it relieve your tension? You could do it lying down. You could put on some nice meditative music, chill out music, whatever you want. All right, so let's get to our topic today. These are the things that you need to give up in order to move forward in your life. And the first one is that letting the opinions of other people matter to you or control you. Those are like number 1, get rid of that. So in order to move forward in your life, you need to remove the idea that other people's opinions are so important to your life that they're controlling your life. Because what you think about what you think about yourself is really what matters, right? So you need to think about doing the best for you, and you have a different life experience. Hey guys, thanks for all the hearts and the love. You have a different life experience than everyone else around you. And you may have been raised differently. You may have had a whole series of events in your life that took you to where you are now that is completely different from the series of events of the person who's giving you advice. So just realize that when someone gives you advice, they might give it to you because they care about you. They might give it to you because they're worried. They might give it to you because they did something similar and they want to inform you of their experience with it and they don't want it to happen to you the same way. But you don't really stand in the same life timeline as they do. So they're seeing life through their lens, through their perspective, and you're seeing it through your lens. And there's no way to remove yourself from that. We're all seeing life from our own perspective. So when you are experiencing something in your life and you're relying on the opinions of everyone else around you to guide you, you are not moving yourself forward. You are just accepting what everyone else has already done in their life, and that may not be the right choice for you. So first thing you need to give up in order to move forward is letting the opinions of others control your life and your decisions. All right, the next thing that you need to let go is the shame of failure, the shame of your past failures, the uncomfortable feeling that you get from going, damn it, I'm such a failure, because that might just be a small moment in time where you feel like a failure, but that does not define who you are in your life. You know, we have mistakes that we make, and that does not make us a failure. So your past does not define who you are today, and it certainly doesn't define where you're headed and where you're going. What you're doing right this second, right now, how much money you have, what job you have, what relationships you have, how many kids you have, those things are all indicative of what happened up until this point, but everything moving forward can go a completely different way. Hey Roberta, hey Laura, thanks for being here. If you're here, say hi, pop in, let me know you're here. So the shame of your failures really needs to be gone, because that does not define where you're headed, what you're doing, and what you'll do right now. If you don't like your financial situation and your whole life your financial situation has sucked, that does not mean that from now until the rest of your life your financial situation is going to suck, right? Because you can win the lottery today. You could be building a business that's bringing in lots of money. Someone can knock on your door and say, oh, I dropped this $10 million and I wanted to give you a cut of it. I mean, that sounds ridiculous, but it could happen. You have no idea what's going to happen in the future. So if you're basing your future only on all these failures that you had, you're only focusing on that negative and you're never going to push yourself forward. So got to get rid of that too. So far we have let go of the shame of your past failures and letting the opinions of others control your life. The third thing is your need to be right. Your need to always be right. To argue and want to win an argument is not going to propel you to this next stage of life. You're not going to move forward by thinking you're always right. Now, maybe you are always right. Maybe you're one of those people that are just like, you know what's going on. You see all the details of life. Maybe you understand the people you're talking to and you're like, nope, it's not that way. It's this way. And maybe you are always right. And that's fine. But you don't have to always want to be right, always feel like you're right, always move around this world as though you are right, because then you're not going to be able to move forward, because we're always learning, right? If you're not learning, then you aren't living. And once your learning has stopped, your living has stopped. We're always learning, not just in school, but just from our mistakes or from experiences that we have in life. Or if someone screws you over in some way, instead of being like, oh, I hate you, take it as a learning experience. But if you always think that you're right, you're really closing that door to learning. I'm right, so I don't need to see what everybody else is saying. I don't need to understand the world around me from different perspectives. I'm right. And so you just shut it down. You're very closed-minded when you always think that you're right. So whether you're right or wrong, it's not important. What's important is that you're always learning. So in order to move forward in life, you need to see everything as a learning experience and let that I'm always right thing go. What do we have here? In a world where anything can happen, always expect the best. Yes! So true. So true, because you never know what can happen. And if you're focusing on all this crappy shit that's happening to you, guess what? More crappy shit is going to happen to you. But if you're focusing on all the beautiful things in the world and all these exciting possibilities unfolding, more possibilities are going to unfold in your life. You're going to experience a beautiful perspective of life. If you change your perspective, then life becomes beautiful, right? We focus on what we see what we focus on. So if you're focusing on the crap, that's all you're going to see. But if you focus on the beauty in the world, that's what you're going to see. And that's kind of has to do with something that's coming up in my list. Thanks, Laura. Thank you. All right, so the next thing that you're going to need to give up in order to move forward is making those excuses instead of making those decisions. So I know a lot of people have trouble making decisions, but here's the thing. If you don't decide what you're doing next, then you're in this wishy-washy stage, right? You've never put your foot down, I'm doing this. Because once you say that, that's your point A. As soon as you make the decision, that's where you start from. And then you can take yourself through that decision. But if you're making excuses, you're like, maybe I'll get up in the morning. Maybe I'll go to work. Maybe I'll work on my business. Maybe I'll take care of my kids. There's no real decision. But so you're not able to create a path towards whatever that obstacle is and achieving whatever you're trying to achieve. So you want to be able to decide what that next course of action is. Otherwise, you can't take that action. And figuring things out and problem solving, these are all parts of life. So if you never make a decision, you're not problem solving, you're not figuring anything out, you're just kind of being thrown around wherever life takes you. I'll do this because that's what's here in front of me. Oh, I'll do this. Now, some of us do have this loosey-goosey attitude to life, me included, but I can make a decision, because when it comes time to make something important happen in my life, that's my life. I'm the one that needs to make that decision. No one else needs to be making those big life decisions for me, because Everyone in this life, no matter how important they are to you, they are not in your life 100% all the time, no matter what. The only person that's in your life 100% of the time, no matter what, is you. So you need to be in charge of where you're headed, and then all these other things will fall into place. The people around you, the experiences that you have. Saying no only creates more excuses. And so that keeps you in failure mode longer. So if you're like, I'm such a failure. Oh, I fucked that up, whatever. And then you don't make decisions around it, then you're stuck in that mode. So you really need to say, no, I'm not going to do that excuse. I'm going to make this decision. Then you've really just turned yourself on. You've got your hands on the steering wheel and you're ready to go. So you want to let go of this, I'm not really sure what's happening. It's just a bunch of excuses. I can't work out today because ABCD. I can't eat healthy food, ABCD. I don't feel like getting out of bed, blah, 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 blah. But if you make a decision and then you go with it, then you are actually experiencing the opposite of failure. That's actually a success. To make a decision is a success, regardless of the outcome of that decision. Because if the decision leads you to a place where you were like, I shouldn't have been here, then you've got a learning lesson, and then you go back to the drawing board and start over. But if you don't even make it to that point, you're missing out on learning, you're missing out on growing, you're missing out on changing your current circumstance. Another thing that you need to let go of in order to move forward is overlooking the positive in your life. There's tons of positive, and I know a lot of negative people, and the reason why they're stuck in negativity is because they choose to see life from a negative perspective. Now, if you're one of these people, you might hate me right now for saying that because that's just blunt truth right there. But this is the thing. If you're constantly focusing on the negative, then that is all you're seeing. We talked about this a second ago, but let's say you have these glasses on, okay? You have your negative glasses and you have another set of glasses, which are your positive glasses. If you put your negative glasses on, everything you see is negative. So you're going to complain about the food that sucks. You're going to complain about this person at your job that's you're not vibing with and you guys argue all the time. You're going to complain about the traffic. You're going to complain about everything and you're going to hate everything. And then when you hate everything, you get angry inside. And so anything else can set you off really quickly and it snowballs, right? But if you put on your positive glasses, everything you see is positive. So you might be sitting in traffic, but you might go, oh, the sky is gorgeous. Or you might be at work and your boss is yelling at you and you hate it, but you might see that the project you're working on is amazing and about to get you lots of recognition. So there is positive and negative in every situation. Even the worst situations, there is an underlying positive thing that you can find no matter how hard it is. And I know that there's a lot of negativity in the world and there are situations that are unexplainable and should never happen and bad things happen to good people, but you can always find something positive. And when you focus on that positive, then you know what you're doing is right in your life. So you'll never be happy if you're focusing on the negative because everything that you think and you see and you feel comes from this negative place. So you'll never find true happiness. The only way you'll find true happiness is if you're out looking for the happiness, you're experiencing the happiness, and you are then giving off that positivity and that happiness. So don't focus on the things that aren't going right. Don't focus on what you had planned for things to do if they didn't turn out your way, or things that you had hoped for, because you don't get to decide what's really going to happen in your life. You get to make decisions of how you, like big goals that you want to achieve, and you try to get to them. But the way you get to them might not be the way you set out to get to them. There's going to be ups and downs and random curveballs. So just know that if you view life in a positive way, you will have a happy life. So you need to get rid of that overlooking the positive in your life and focusing on the negative in order to move forward. And the last thing I have for you is that you need to change your mantra. And a mantra is kind of like your theme, your saying, like, what are you saying to yourself? And instead of saying, I have to be blah, 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 I have to be the best. I have to be the best mom. I have to be the best employee. I have to be the best daughter or son or spouse. Instead of saying, I have to be whatever, I want you to say, I am doing my best right now. I am doing my best as a mother. I am doing my best as a chef. I am doing my best as a chauffeur. If you're a mom, you know what I'm talking about. You're a chef and a chauffeur and the maid. But anything, I'm doing my best as an employee. I'm doing my best as a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband, a wife, a daughter, a son, a parent. whatever relationship you're having or whatever issue you're having, instead of saying, I have to be, where we're striving to be something, I want you to say where you are right now is that you're doing your best. And then I want you to try to do your best. So say that to yourself. When things aren't going well, instead of saying, I have to, I want you to not get frustrated and instead say, I'm doing as best I can do right now. And that relieves some of that tension that we talked about, that leaky bucket. Because if you're constantly striving to do the best, and I have to do this, and I have to be here, and I have to help this person, and I have to do this, you have to, it's just dumping more water in that leaky bucket. But if you can stop and say, where I am right now is good, and I am really trying, and I am doing my best, and I'm doing the best that I can, then that's all we can ask of you, right? That's all you can ask of yourself. And you can grow and get better so that your best can be even better. And that's really the goal in life, to constantly become a better person, not for the others around you, but for yourself. Becoming a better person for others around you is just a symptom of you becoming a better person for yourself. So I hope this helped you. I will see you next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions, pop them in. If you liked this video, share it, and I will see you around. Thanks. Bye.